In this video, I'd like to talk about behavior trends. And behavior trends is the last portion of the situation component of the EABT model. Some people ask about why is behavior trends here as opposed to in understanding. I look at behavior trends as a dimension of helping me understand what the situation is as opposed to why the situation is the way it is, which is the reason for putting it in situation as opposed to putting it in understanding. As I've said repeatedly, the situation generally appears as an event, and that's usually because we haven't paid attention to the things leading up to it. We typically live very hectic lives involved in lots of things, and there are only so many things that we can pay attention to on an ongoing basis. As a result of that, there are lots of things trending in the background that we're not paying attention to. Though when those trends reach a point where they get our attention, we perceive that there's a situation that needs to be attended to that looks more like an event than evolving situation. And to get a better understanding of what that situation is, it's appropriate to identify those trends that have evolved over time. Though, as I've also said before, we understand in the context of our environment, cause and effect are separated over distance and time, so the change happens over some period of time. It's appropriate to figure out what the appropriate or relevant time frame is to consider this. If you were thinking about developing the trend for water filling a bathtub, you wouldn't do it in weeks unless the drip was very, very, very slow. You'd probably do it in minutes. If you were going to look at the transition of a market, you probably want to do it in months and years, not in minutes. So you first have to decide or determine what's the relevant time frame for the behavior trends that you want to map out. And then the idea is to actually figure out which aspects, which things in the background have been trending over time that are relevant to the situation itself. There could be lots of things, there are an endless array of things that you could trend over time, not all of which are relevant to the situation. So oftentimes, or more often than not, it's a trial and error process of, well, this might be relevant or might not be relevant. Let me look at it, think about it, see if it really gives me a sense of contribution to the situation that I'm looking at. And then the question is, where do I get the data to actually develop the trend? And there are, in many instances, you can do research. The data's around someplace. I mean, we sort of have this passion for keeping track of endless array of stuff, most of which we don't use for anything, though because we can keep track of it, we do. So you can do research into the historical data and find the data points and trend them over the relevant time frame. Though in some instances, there is no data, and the best that you can do is to ferret out stories within that people have passed on and on and on, and from those descriptions of the way things have evolved over time, you can develop the behavior trends that give you a better sense of what the situation is. In terms of the actual behavior trends themselves, you can do them in spreadsheets, you can do them with a piece of chalk on the sidewalk, or you can do them with a marker on the back of a napkin. You need something that gives you a sense of how things have trended over time leading up to the situation that you're now trying to figure out what to do or how to address that situation to create the desired alternative. So I'll see you in the next video when we'll begin to talk about the the understanding why the situation is the way it is, as opposed to what it is that we've done to this point. See you in the next video. Bye.